Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. So, if you've ever been in a car crash, you know the drill. Those first few moments, even hours afterward, are just this absolute blur of adrenaline and, frankly, total confusion. But once the dust finally settles and you know everyone's safe, you're immediately thrust into this chaotic and honestly super confusing reality of navigating post-accident bureaucracy down here in Florida. Suddenly, you're fielding calls from insurance adjusters, stressing over property damage, and trying to figure out all these legal questions. And the one absolute must-have thing you need to make sense of the whole shebang, your official Florida crash report. Now, like the quote says, if you've been in an accident in Florida, you know how crucial it is to have access to your accident report. Stay tuned as we unravel the step-by-step process to obtain this vital document effortlessly. And we're going to do exactly that in this explainer. Look, dealing with the aftermath of a crash is stressful enough, right? You absolutely shouldn't have to hit a brick wall just trying to get your hands on your own paperwork. So today, we're going to solve that problem together. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll be covering Section 1, why accident reports matter. Section 2, the 60-day confidentiality rule. Section 3, eligibility and requirements. Section 4, the exact methods to get your report. Section 5, dealing with real-world scenarios and troubleshooting. And finally, Section 6, some final tips and our disclaimer. Let's get to it. Section 1, why accident reports matter, the foundation of your claim. So what does this all mean? Well, think of this document not just as a mundane piece of paper, but as the ultimate anchor of truth. It's the objective third-party story of exactly what went down at the scene, and it is packed with critical data. We're talking the exact date, time, and location, driver and witness info, and all the insurance policy details. But the real goldmine for your claim, that's going to be the officer's narrative, the diagram of the crash scene, and any traffic citations or fault indicators. Insurance adjusters absolutely obsess over these specific details. Under Florida's PIP rules and tort liability thresholds, establishing clear facts right out of the gate can literally make or break your ability to get fair compensation. It's a real game changer. Moving right along to Section 2, the 60-day confidentiality rule, under Florida Statute 316.066. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this statute right here. It's the primary bureaucratic barrier that trips up so many drivers. Florida enforces a very strict timeline. For the first 60 days after a crash report is filed, that document is fiercely protected. It's completely confidential and totally restricted from public access. Why? Well, to protect your privacy. It blocks commercial solicitors and scammers from grabbing your personal data while you're in a vulnerable spot. It isn't until day 61 and beyond that the report finally becomes an open public record. So, on to Section 3, eligibility and requirements. Who gets early access? Obviously, if you were just in a wreck, you can't exactly sit around waiting 2 whole months for your paperwork, right? Well, the great news here is that if you were involved, whether you were a driver, a passenger, a pedestrian, or the property owner, you have the immediate legal right to access it during those first 60 days. Your legal representatives, like your attorneys and your licensed insurance agents or companies, get early access too, along with victim services programs and law enforcement. Basically, the system is designed to keep the bad guys out while making sure the people who actually need the report to process a claim can get it without delay. But to prove you're actually on that VIP list, there are a few rules. You're going to need a valid photo ID, and you have to complete Form HSMV 9410. That's the sworn statement for crash report, which legally affirms you are an authorized party and won't be using the data for any sort of commercial solicitation. And please take this seriously. Unlawfully obtaining this report or making false statements on this form is no joke. It is a third-degree felony in Florida. All right, Section 4, methods to get your report. Let's talk about your action plan. Now that we know the rules, let's turn this bureaucratic maze into actionable steps. You basically have 3 main avenues. The online route through the FLHSMB portal is for sure your best bet for speed and convenience, giving you immediate access once it's processed. In-person is great if you happen to live right next to the responding highway patrol or local police station and you need it the same day. Requesting by mail to Tallahassee is an option too, but you're looking at a 4 to 6 week delay. So honestly, I only recommend the mail route if you're requesting multiple records or you just don't have web access. And this brilliantly illustrates how simple the online portal can be. Step 1, just gather your basic details: the crash date, the county, your VIN, or the specific report number the officer handed you at the scene. Step 2,
Head over to the FLH SMV Florida Crash Portal website. Step 3, if you're inside that 60-day window, you'll fill out a digital version of that sworn statement we just talked about. And finally, step 4, pay the fee, and you'll get a link to download your report within 48 hours. Super straightforward.
So what's all this going to cost you? It's exactly $12. Florida charges a $10 statutory fee per crash report, and if you use that highly recommended online portal, there's just a tiny $2 convenience fee tacked on. $12 is a really small price to pay to get your essential evidence immediately, don't you think?
Okay, Section 5, Scenarios and Troubleshooting, Navigating the Real World. So things don't always go perfectly according to plan, but here is a massive pro tip for you. Your crash location is your compass. If you aren't seeing your report in the state portal yet, you might need to figure out which specific agency responded. If it was on a major highway or interstate like I-4 or I-75, that's almost always the Florida Highway Patrol, or FHP. Inside incorporated city limits like Tampa or Orlando, you'll want to check with the local city police department. But if you are out in an unincorporated area, say Riverview or Lutz, that report falls to the county sheriff's office.
Now, a huge source of anxiety for people is logging on a day or two after their accident and finding absolutely nothing. If that happens, take a deep breath. Under Florida law, responding officers actually have up to 10 days to finalize and officially file the report with the state. So if it's only been a few days, just give the system a little time to catch up. It'll get there.
But what if you get the report and something is just plain wrong? Well, we need to draw a hard line here between a factual error and a difference of opinion. If it's a factual error, like the officer misspelled your name or jotted down the wrong license plate, you can simply contact the issuing law enforcement agency and request a quick addendum or correction. Easy fix. But if it's an officer's opinion, meaning you disagree with their subjective findings on who caused the crash or the crash dynamics, you can't just call the police and ask them to change their mind. No way. That is exactly when you need to bring in a personal injury attorney to help challenge those findings. Also, keep this in mind. What if your accident was just a minor fender bender with no injuries and under $500 in property damage? In that case, law enforcement might not even respond to the scene. But you still have a legal obligation. You must file a driver report of traffic crash, basically a self-report, within 10 days. This fulfills your state duties and gives your insurance company the baseline documentation they need. Moving to our final part, Section 6, Final Tips and Disclaimer. Taking control of your claim. So the crucial point is this: your accident report is absolutely vital for proving liability. We've covered a lot today, but just remember, you have the right to bypass that 60-day rule if you were involved. Requesting it online via FLHSMV is by far the fastest method, costing just $12. Always know your jurisdiction, whether it's FHP, the city, or the county, so you can track down your report. And please don't hesitate to seek legal help for serious injuries or if fault is being disputed. Before we wrap up, I do need to share a quick legal disclaimer. The information provided in this explainer is intended for general informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. Every accident is uniquely complex, so please consult a legal professional for your specific case. An accident can leave you feeling completely powerless. The physical shock, the damaged car, the endless calls with insurance, it's just a lot to handle. But taking that very first step to secure your official crash report puts the power right back in your hands. It's your right, and it's your story. So are you ready to take control of your story? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay safe out there on the roads, and I'll catch you in the next one.